Salud, mi gente, you boys coming through once again. And on today's video, we're gonna do a disclaimer, right? So Dubs, we're gonna go and use Dubs palabras, Dubs words. You know what I mean? To the point. Just for those individuals, those viewers that come from his channel that like to defend somebody they don't like. Like he said, I know there's gonna be individuals who are gonna come into the video and are gonna defend this individual, and it's not hating. It's not hating. According to him, he says it's not hating. You cannot hate somebody that you don't know or who hasn't done something personally to you. It's not hating. So we're gonna use that. You know what I mean? I'm glad, and I hope that not. I mean that I hope that doesn't just apply to him. You know, because when other people drop content on him, when they drop content, they're hating. But I'm glad he specified that. He explains that to his viewers, so they don't come over here and be like, "Hey man, you're hating on this guy," right? And if people coming over here and talking about the views, I'm gonna use his words as well, right? Because he said every time he drops content on Renegade Media, people in the comment section are saying you're making it for views. And Dub said this: as a content creator, it is my job to make a video that's gonna bring views. It's gonna make clicks. Whenever he drops content that don't have to do with this, his views are not that great, right? So his job is that. So again, I'm gonna take that, and that's what we're doing. We're getting views. So for those guys who are gonna try to talk masa, be like, "Oh, you're doing it for this, you're hating and stuff like that." Hey man, this individual put it on stone. So hopefully you understand that it does not work only for one person. It works for everybody. I'm glad he clarified that, right? Because do I agree? Hell yeah, I do agree 100% on that. 100%, man. Now, with this being said, do not forget to hit the like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for the support. I do highly appreciate it. So let's get to this stuff. So he made a video about Renegade Media boxer Mendoza, and basically he said the same thing that he always has said about Renegade Media. He don't agree with this content. He's building cases and stuff like that, and that's what it is, right? I mean, I'm gonna tell you, as a changed man, somebody who pushes that of a changed man, you shouldn't be worried about another man building cases. What about the cops who build cases? Who cares what the next man is doing? Worry about your life. I mean, we're not right here being a YouTube police trying to dictate what each content creator needs to put out there. You know? Simple as that. I'm gonna call on BS, man, and that's what we're doing right here. How can you put that little hat of being I'm a popo? You can't drop this because you building cases. How can you say that they're building cases? Can you build cases on hearsay, or if you can, that cannot stand in court? But again, who cares what this individual said? He said he was gonna name 3 individuals in his video, so he named Renegade Media boxer Mendoza, and then he said he was gonna name somebody from the other side, Southern California, who gives his input and stuff like that. But he said he's gonna wait. I think he wants to see where this individual stands at, so he can decide if he wants to attack him or not. His buddy already attacked him. Already came with the, hey, you know what? Don't hit me up. Hey, just keep, don't mention my name. But sure enough, you wanted a boxer to mention your name, and fucking they did almost the same shit, right? Boxer Mendoza, they did almost the same shit, right? It is funny how, as we move on and then we kick with certain individuals, and then our fucking way of thinking changes and stuff like that, and at the end of the day, we just contradict ourselves, you know. So he was gonna name Boxer Enriquez. Simple as that. Boxer Enriquez doing his thing, man. I don't know why people want to mention him, unless he was gonna mention Mundo. You know what I mean? Because he's not gonna mention Misled Loyalty, right? It's from Northern California, ex-outsider, and he's dropping content the same thing, naming individuals, putting stories out there, and apparently for Dubs, this is not okay, man. Okay, well, if it's not okay, what's to you? What's to me? That's how they're making the money as a content creator. They found a niche that can get clicks and is working for them. You know, How can somebody who's right here on the bottom can criticize the guy who's right here on top? And not just being legit. Views, subscribers. You know, if that's the stand he wants to take, hey, that's good for you. Hey, bravo, bravo. That's good, man. If that's the stand if that's your belief, ponle. But how can a man who said, hey, I'm a changed man, still defend somebody that, trust me, if they had a chance, they'll put a fierro on your neck? How can somebody do that? You're not cool in the hood no more, bro. We have to understand, yes, you say you didn't testify on nobody. Yeah, I believe that. You didn't testify on nobody. 100%. I don't think you went to court to do that. You didn't build cases against nobody. No. But when it comes to debriefing, which if you wouldn't say that, you would validate it, maybe you would slip through the cracks. But when it comes to debriefing, you have to understand that you have to give a rundown of stuff that people are going to be validated because their names. If they're not validated yet, their name is right there. You know, can they use that in court? No, they can't use that in court. But it's something that CDCR is going to use for their own benefit. Correct? I mean, hopefully individuals who've been validated, who has debrief, will come through and let it be known, right? Since a lot of people are not willing to speak on that. But again, that's your fucking decision. People have to understand that you're not comfortable saying that. But we know that debriefing does not mean that, well, at least I know that debriefing does not mean that you're going to build a case about on another person, because that is not acceptable in court unless I believe you have to sign something or something like that. Again, debriefing is not testifying on somebody in court as well, right? Debriefing is something else. It's your story. It's your story from when you were a little kid, whatever you did in your life, all the way to prison, who you worked for, who was everything. You have to name individuals, right? Maybe you're gonna try to put some names out, but I don't know how that works, because trust me, those guys know everything. And that's why when this happened, people stay back there longer, because you're like, nah. Well, not you, but the cops are like, nah, man, you're lying about this, man. Go do it again and be more honest, because I'm not taking that. But with that being said, and explain to those who don't know, yeah, this guy didn't testify on nobody. This guy did not build cases on nobody. I can stamp that. I mean, I can stamp that 100%, but let's just be real with what that is, you know? And again, it's not bringing nobody down. Like I always say, man, you did what you had to do. That's what's up. Hey, felicidades. I'm happy for you, man. You're out. After doing 20-something years, you're out. You're out. I'm going to be the least who's going to try to push somebody like, oh, this guy to breathe this. I don't care, man. It's not my business. That's you. I'm not going to be right here trying to point a finger. Like, come on, man. It's not me, you know? But it is funny, man, how this individual is over here dropping the same content over and over again, talking about Renegade Media. We already know what that video is going to be about, that he don't like his content, that he don't like that he's building cases. But how can you know that he's building cases? Yeah, he's telling a story that individuals from the streets are telling him. And do I agree with Renegade Media and his content that he puts out there? You know what? I have said it many times. I do understand that his stories maybe has some truth, but he creates a story around it. I do agree with that. I know stories from prison. I know stories from the streets that he had put out there. And from the first time coming into YouTube, man, when they were like, hey, man, this guy is this guy is that. So it's the first time I was like, nah, man, this guy's lying about this story. I know that story personally. But again, that's his fucking channel. He's going to tell whatever he wants for the clicks. Let it be done. It's working. All well, right? Another thing about Renegade Media is that he does put content, and whenever family members ask him to bring it down, he will not bring it down. You know, I know of family members who have asked him to do this, and he'll ignore them 100%. That's something I can't do. I'm sorry. But If a family member uh, tells me to take down a content, I'm gonna do it. Why? Because I have empathy for that family member. They don't want their people to be on the internet, and I can understand that. Not everybody's like this, and right there, she tells you the character of a person, you know. But not because that individual is like that. Not because that individual has built content on certain things. Maybe some being true, some being made up and stuff like that. So that doesn't mean that I'm gonna be dropping content on his stuff every time and tell you, hey, I don't agree with what he's doing, you know. Now, if he was here trying to convince you guys that, hey, man, what I say is true, whatever this individual is saying is fake, now we're going to come out. I said, come on, man, relax. You know that this is fake, so please don't try to get the people, influence the people believing that whatever you're saying is true 100%. You know, that's different. But if that guy is doing his content, okay, if whoever watches his content, if you believe it and you understand that some of it, most of it, I don't know, is not true, and you still okay with that, do it. That's your entertainment, right? That's what it is, you know. And I cannot be right here trying to hate, or it's not hate because I don't know, but I cannot be right here trying to criticize the next man of whatever content he's putting out there, you know. So it is funny how the YouTube police is trying to defend somebody or something that he's no longer part of. And sure enough, he has said that he's a changed man, but still has that same mentality. And when I say the same mentality, man, you know what? You can have a certain standard in life, but when you going beyond to make a point of pointing a finger, hey man, this is not the way to go. It's like, hold on, man. Why would this affect you? You're not part of that. Like, who cares, right? At the end of the day, man, you have to understand that a lot of people are being a hypocrite, and it is what it is, right? It is what it is. I feel like right now, Boxer Mendoza is being attacked left and right, real stuff. But you know what? You know what, man? Those individuals made it to where a lot of these individuals would like to make it. You know, especially the two individuals that he spoke on, and then the other one that he didn't speak on. You know, Renegade Media, well, that's a whole different story. No disrespect, but that's what it is, man. But with this being said, we are out to next video. Saludos. Have a wonderful day.